Forth. This is maneuvering. The engine orders would come down on the engine telegraph right here, and then they would respond that they were set. But here, determination was made as how much of the generator or the power would go to the batteries, the generators, to gauge the motors. Here's another one of those underground or under the deck compartments there. Let me see, can I get this one open? Is she locked up right now? Oh no, she's open. Okay. So you can see down underneath. As I said, all these compartments have levels underneath. I mean, I don't know if you can like see beneath the gear, but every space in the boat is utilized. I don't know if you can see down in there. That's a closet that was used for, not, a closet, but storage area. And now we're into the aft torpedo room. Okay, this is not a crew head, this was just a small area for maintenance equipment. There's a Mumson lung. There's a whole story there. COD's battle flag. Schematic diagram of the boat. A little bit of history down in here for the tour, but normally there'd be torpedoes in all these racks, and also crew berthing. Here's the rear or aft crew hatch, looking up into the bright sun today. It wouldn't look like this to them at sea. When this is all buttoned up, it's pretty dark. Aft torpedo room. Looking at some of the torpedo tubes here. I know this is a quick walkthrough, but looking back forward, let's see if we can't climb up out of this hatch right now into the early afternoon sun. Now we're at the rear of the boat, walking forward. This is that crew hatch we saw in the rear engine room, the aft engine room. And as you can see, we're getting the boat all power washed. So we're going to try and run around them. 5-inch 25 string. .40 millimeters. This is the side of the boat that most people don't get to see unless they get on the boat. Oh wow, I see they painted the numbers on this side now too. Very cool. What you're looking at there is part of our radio antenna. Right there. Beautiful Lake Erie. And then back up toward the forward crew hatch, where we started. And now looking out into the yard, all the people here today, that's the sub-vets group, had their meeting today to help with cleaning up the boat. Alright, a couple other things we forgot here on the deck. That's the sonar transducer right there. It's got a weather covering on it now, but normally that would have been turning. And these yellow things here, there's one in the forward part of the boat here. And I don't know if we can see it from here back all the way. But the rear one is back there. We'll go back there and look at it. These are emergency floats, and normally they're not painted yellow. And actually during the war, they would have been welded shut. But they have a float in there along with an airline and a emergency telephone. And if they were sank, they could let the float go up, and hopefully if a rescue boat came, they could communicate and they could use it to suck air into the boat and yada yada yada. But during the war, to prevent accidental flotation, they were welded to the deck and were primarily used in peacetime. But this is the forward torpedo loading hatch. That piece of decking comes up right there, and maybe we can see, it's kind of hard to see through the slats, but it's the business end of the torpedo loading hatch. Okay, now that it's a little brighter out here, down here by the forward crew hatch, if you look underneath the deck plating, there's quite a bit of room down here. You can see some of the tanks for ballast, drive shafts stored here. I don't know if you can see the mounting brackets there, but actually quite a bit of equipment was actually stowed underneath here, but it had to be battened down very tightly to prevent rattling because this was all flooded with water here. That compartment there is a waterproof compartment. They could store guns and ammunition and things of that nature in there. And when they surface, they could get into them. You'll also see those along the conning tower at the base right here. And those right there are waterproof compartments where they would stow the machine guns and ammo and things like that for the deck guns. And as soon as they would surface, they'd break those out and mount their guns. And then when they dived, they'd have to stow them again. Okay, now we're up here near the bridge, looking at one of the 40mm guns. I'm going to a hatch here onto the bridge itself. That right there is the hatch that you saw in the conning tower. You would come out there onto here, and these seats would fold down, and they would sit up here. Right there is a compass repeater, BT scopes, and the lookouts would climb up into these areas right here. And I would climb up there, but I'm not going to do it. You can see the periscopes there, but I'm not going to do it with just one hand. But this is what the bridge of the boat looks like. Now going to the aft part of the bridge. Lookouts. I don't want to point this into the sun. And now looking down to the aft part of the boat. Okay, here's the crew hatch in the galley that we didn't come in before.